So, what is the best dimension for our rabbit cages or hatches in this case? Guys, let us face it. It is a simple question, but the answer is not so simple at all. There are several factors to consider before we can arrive at an important answer for your rabbit farm, okay? Now, I think the best approach to look at this question is from maybe 4 or 5 different point of view. I'm talking about the international standard point of view. What is the bare minimum? By bare minimum, I'm talking about what is your local regulation around raising animals in cages. You can look at it from what is Ace Rabbit Farm doing. In other words, you are looking at other farmers, right? And then the last part is with such a deep knowledge now that you've interacted with the international community, you've interacted with your local regulation body, and you've seen 1 or 2 other farmers doing it. The question is, what would you then derive from there, because you want to achieve a certain standard of farming, right? Yeah. So when we talk about the international standards bodies, we are referring to your likes of ARBA, American Rabbit Breeders Association, the BRC, the British guys, Gauteng Rabbit Breeders Association, GRBA from South Africa. Now, if you have standard in your own country, then by all means consult that standard. Okay? You know what? I'm just going to jump straight into giving a number out. We can just say, hey, go for 2 feet by 2 feet and you'll be fine. But I don't think that achieves anything. We need to understand what informed that decision of 2 feet by 2 feet. And I think the number one is always the breed, because the breed of your animal will tell you the final size that your animal is going to get to. And if you look at what the international standards are doing, they have actually, let's look at this table here, which I got from the American Breeders Association, by the way, American Rabbit Breeders Association. So just look at this table here. So first of all, we are using commercial breeds, and the commercial breeds of animals, they usually weigh between 9 to 12 pounds, okay, or slightly above 12 pounds. So you can look at the top 2 highlighted points. Now, these are single animal. If you look on the bottom 2 highlighted areas, you see that it's talking about specifically the doe. So what this means is you need to consider number 1, the breed. Then the type of the breed. Is it a male? Is it a female? Okay, if it is a male, you keep to the up standard. And if it's a female, you keep to the bottom standard, because it just makes sense. The female is going to be having litters walking around, and with the children walking around, with the little bunnies walking around, you want to ensure that there is sufficient space for them to grow very well. Okay, so on a very simple way, using the international standard, you can see immediately 4 square feet or 5 square feet, and then from there onwards you can then extrapolate. So by the way, 4 square feet is the same as 2 feet by 2 feet. Okay, and then you add your height. If you want, you can do another 2 by 2 by 2, or you can make it 2 by 2 by 1.5. Okay, all right, so that is for a single animal. But a single animal, being it a dry doe that is not producing, being it a male that is not can be active, that those first dimensions works very, very well. Then when you come down to a doe that is actually producing, you can see that there is an increase between 6 and 7 feet, okay, square feet. So guys, this is what it should be, and they have been doing this for hundreds of years. We can only learn from them. Okay, now that is the theory, and that is their recommendation in their country as their local rules. Okay, now let's see what we are doing at Ace Rabbit Farm, and with that I will allow Elliot to take it away. So Elliot is going to walk us through what we are doing at Ace Rabbit Farm. Okay, and thereafter I will just give a quick little summary. Okay, Elliot, take it away.
Hello. So today it's about cage dimensions. We want to talk a little bit about cage dimensions. A lot of times we build our cages without checking the appropriate dimensions, the breeds you want to keep. And then after constructing them, we find out that cages are not, or the rooms are not comfortable enough for your rabbits. First of all, you should know the breed you want to keep. Do you want to keep the dwarfs, the bigger breeds like the commercial ones, the New Zealand whites, the reds, the Californians, the chinchilla giants, the Flemish giant? You need to know what you want to keep, and that will inform the space of your cages. And so here on Ace Farms, we have the commercial breeds. We have the New Zealand white, we have the Californian, and then we have the New Zealand red, and then a few mixes as well. And so these are huge rabbits. They are not the small ones like the dwarfs. And so our cage size for a single rabbit is 1.5 by 2. 1.5 by 2. Something like this for a single rabbit. You see, 1.5 by 2. It is crucial because the space in there will allow the rabbit to be comfortable to move about. You don't have to stress your rabbits in a small space. At least they need some space to hop and turn, stretch, and all of that. You see. So this is 1.5 by 2. You can decide to do it anyhow, but ours, we have 1.5 in front and then 2 feet inside, that way. So 1.5 in front, and you have 2 feet at the side. And so that is the size we have for a single rabbit. And so for the breeding dose, again, you have to look at the type of breeds you want to keep. The types of the breeds you want to keep. Is it the dwarfs? Is it the big breeds? Then that will inform the space you must have. And so this is a New Zealand red. You can see the length of the mother, the size of the mother. You can see the length and size of the mother. And she has so many kids with her. And so this one, we have 3 feet by 2. 3 feet by 2. You can decide to do it from 2.1 feet down to 3. Anything 2.1 feet down to 3 feet by 2 is fine. But our advice, it shouldn't be lesser than 2 feet. Imagine a mother having babies of about 10 babies in 2 feet square space, where they would have to be there for at least 5 or 6 weeks. The space is not enough for them to, live comfortably before they are weaned, and they will be stressed. And so at least if you have something 2.1, between 2.1 feet to 3 feet is fine. So that's it. So that's 3 feet in front, and then 2 feet here. And so that's the size Ace Farm has chosen for our breeding rabbits. And so for the breeding bags too, it's the same thing as the previous size. That's 1.5 by 2 feet. So here is one of our breeding bags. Here's one of our breeding bags. And so that's 1.5 by 2.
Guys, in conclusion, thank you, Elliot, for all of that. Okay. So, guys, in conclusion, the space for the animal has a direct relationship to the final body size. So in areas where there are no local rules or regulation, we therefore rely on the international standards of the international bodies that are recognized. I mean, everybody knows the BRC, everybody knows the ARBA that we speak quite a lot about. But more importantly, guys, consult with your farming communities. Reach out to other farmers like your Ace Rabbit Farm, who is now interacting with you on this social media. Reach out to them, ask your questions, and from there, I'm sure whatever information that comes out, you can then add your own reading to it so that you can have a rich set of information to deploy your right cages for your animals. Because remember one thing, your cages are a critical asset on your farm. And that involves spending a lot of money, capital, and so forth and so on. So, guys, let's continue farming and let's do it right, okay? Until I catch you again, guys, keep farming. Bye.